Okay. All right, guys. So good to be here. I know I've met a lot of you, but you haven't met Caitlin yet, so you are in for a treat. Let me tell you.
Thanks for changing your plans to come here. I don't know how far this is from. Was it going to be in Howard's yard?
No, it was just going to be right outside.
Oh, okay. Thank you for changing your plans and coming inside instead of just stubbornly standing out there.
In the rain. So yes, we are both, solo artists, but we met a few years back and started writing songs. And then during the pandemic, when we had nothing to do, we started writing every week to make sure, we stayed semi-sane through all of it. And by the end of it, we were like, you know what, we should make an album.
We have all these songs.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. That's what you do when you have a lot of songs.
You have to
make albums.
You have to put them on something physical.
But didn't occur to us for a while.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
It's also, it's a big process.
Yeah.
So we had a year to think about it, and we finally did it, and we released our first single in April. It was inspired by the pandemic. We thought we'd start with our very first single. What do you think?
Yeah, so be thinking, we might quiz you later, but what were the silver linings for you during the pandemic? Things that you didn't expect, that, things that you were like, wow, it's kind of nice to stay home, if you had that thought.
We had to look at those.
It's kind of good to focus on the good things that came out of it. For me, it was Alice.
So this is called Lucky Break. It's a little like this.
All the races have been called off. All the clocks have been stopped. Every contest is a wash. All the meetings are postponed. All the outcomes are unknown. And everyone's alone. Nobody's getting ahead. Nobody's missing out. We're no better than anyone else right here in the right now. Have you ever prayed for your whole life to change? Well, this could be your lucky break. Hey. All the wheels are falling off. The sky fell and the ground opened up, but it couldn't swallow all of us. Don't know when the dust will clear, but what's a few months or a year to fix what's really broken here? Nobody's getting ahead. Nobody's missing out. We're no better than anyone else right here in the right now. Have you ever prayed for your whole life to change? Well, this could be your lucky break. No one asked if you were ready to let go, but if you aim for rock bottom, maybe you'll strike gold. While nobody's getting ahead, nobody's missing out. We're no better than anyone else right here in the right now. Have you ever prayed for the whole world to change? Well, this could be your lucky break. Hey, hey.
Although we should acknowledge that it was not that lucky for everyone.
No, there was
Yeah.
a lot of bad things.
It's just that most of us were focusing on that, so we just wanted to, show the other side.
I know.
Yeah.
You got to do something to get yourself through it.
Yeah. Not to be all schadenfreude about it.
The sound still good out there, Howard? Sound good? I know.
We're going to do another Side Pony song. That song, Lucky Break, is out. We had it produced by Doug Lancio. Alice introduced me to Doug. He produced a lot of our heroes, Patty Griffin and John Hyatt. We're so lucky to work with him. So don't hesitate, well, once you turn your phones back on, to go to Spotify or wherever it is that you get your music and find our single.
I don't know if we said our name was Side Pony. I think I forgot that earlier.
We're called
Once you
Side
said-
Pony.
Yeah, that's our band name, Side Pony.
And here is
Find
a
us.
visual aid.
I usually
In
let
case you
her hold
forget.
it. Yes.
That's why we did it, Side Pony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes when we're asked why are we called Side Pony, it's like, why not? Side ponies are awesome. So then we have now recorded our whole record with Doug, and this next song that we're about to play is probably going to be one of the singles that are coming out in the next couple of months. And we played last night in Columbia, Missouri, and it was so funny because this song is called Old Woman, and normally we ask, if anyone, is still looking for love, in the audience, and normally, like, if it's someone who's getting on in years, we're like, well, we wrote this for you because we don't want you to give up hope, because we don't feel like it's going to happen for us anytime soon, because, well, it just isn't.
We're counting on it when we're old women.
And it was so sad because these two beautiful, like 25-year-old girls were in the front row, and they started to cry while we were playing this song. And I started to laugh because I was like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. And then afterwards I was like, I just need to tell them, like, don't give up hope, And they were like, oh no, we're married. Like, we just feel sorry for you.
It was pretty good. We're like, oh, okay.
So, I don't know. I won't say how much older we are than those 25-year-old girls, but if you feel like, if we look like we're 25 to you, then you should just know we don't feel sorry for you. Okay.
When I'm an old woman, I'll fall in love. Exactly the kind that I've always dreamed of. We may not have our whole lives ahead of us, but whatever we have will be more than enough. He'll hold my hand when we walk down the street. He'll stop in the shop to buy me an ice cream. It'll be all the more thoughtful and sweet when he struggles to get up and give me his seat. When I'm an old woman, I'll finally stop looking, when looking good doesn't mean much. Once I've been made patient from a whole life of waiting, and I'm an old woman, I'll fall in love. We'll watch the sunset from the swing on the porch of a house we don't gotta pay off anymore. May not have little ones running around, but we'll have our hands full with our tired old hound. When I'm an old woman, I'll finally stop looking, when looking good doesn't
sorry, I almost started laughing again because
Were you,
I was
like,
just
imagining
thinking
those
I
girls
was
again?
imagining those girls like feeling so sorry for us. Don't worry, we go on plenty of dates, plenty,
They just don't work out.
plenty.
They're just all dumb.
Well, yeah, thank you. But not really. So before we were Side Pony, we still are, Caitlin and Alice, and I had released this record into the belly of the pandemic. I mean, you really took a chance on being friends with me because you hadn't really heard my music before.
That's true.
Yeah.
You could have been terrible.
I could have. Then my record came out, and Alice was like, "I love this." She made sure everyone heard it.
No, it's a brilliant record, and yeah, she put it out last year, in May, and during when we couldn't leave the house, we couldn't tour, she couldn't get it out and play it for people, so this is her chance now to finally play these brilliant songs for all these wonderful people.
Yeah. Oh, she's my best friend. So, so I'm gonna play a couple Trash Cannon songs. They do sound pretty good with Alice singing backup on them. And then I'm going to get to have my dream job, and I'm going to get to sing backup for Alice. So, this was kind of a prophetic track. I didn't think that this was going to be, I didn't actually think this song was going to be the most popular one on the record, but it was because we didn't know before the pandemic how valuable our barbers and our bartenders were. And then suddenly, it was like, I was cutting hair. I can't tell you how many fruit baskets I got. So this song's called Barbers and Bartenders.
Kinda slow with the tipsy crow tonight. She won't get off till 4 or 5. She'll wipe down the bar, count out the tip jar, lock the door and make the drive. Chairs are full at the shop today. Last appointment won't walk in till 8. He'll wipe down the mat, count out the cash, put the combs and the shears away. Barbers and bartenders, take good care of the regulars. Listen to you like a friend when you go to see them again and again. Oh, barbers and bartenders may not have all the answers. Pull up a stool or sit down in the chair, and you know that they will always be there. Everyone at the plant's about to get laid off. Jimmy's hung up on that redhead girl he lost. Jessica still can't get pregnant. They're all up to their necks in credit card debt. Barbers and bartenders, take good care of the regulars. Listen to you like a friend when you go to see them again and again. Oh, barbers and bartenders may not have all the answers. Pull up a stool or sit down in the chair, and you know that they will always be there. Don't some folks do a whole lot more than they get noticed for? Barbers and bartenders, take good care of the regulars. Listen to you like a friend when you go to see them again and again. Oh, barbers and bartenders may not have all the answers. Pull up a stool or sit down in the chair, and you know that they will always be there. Oh, hey, yeah.
Be good to your bartenders tonight, everyone. If you're going to the bar. I mean, I imagine you don't go to the bar after you come here. is where we separate the, the men from the boys, so they say. No, I actually never realized that church really wasn't a bar because my grandmother always used to take communion, and I never got to have any. And to me, I was like, that's alcohol. I mean, it was, like, back then. That was the 80s. Now it's grape juice, so it's a little bit different. But to me, I was like, that's the bar. Speaking of the bar, I don't drink anymore. I am not someone who really can, and I had to learn that the hard way. But I always say that out of your trials and tribulations, you often get a really good song out of it. I mean, it's all worth it, like, if you get a good song out of it. And I actually didn't know I had written this song. I woke up in the morning and found it in my voice memos, and I said, that's a hit, thanks. Thank you, blackout drinking. Yeah, so I finished it, and I love it when Alice sings this with me. It's called Drinkin' Up.
Heard 'em say she really put on some weight this year. I think she's in her 30s now. Ain't it a little too late to be acting that way in here? And ain't it a shame? I think she used to be kinda beautiful, kinda sane. But can I drink enough to shut 'em up? Pass out on the couch with my makeup on, and in the morning it'll all be gone, gone. Well, I know everything I work for and everything I got might as well be sitting right there in that shop. I cannot get back without a second thought. I heard you say I'd never change, and then you drove away again. Now I think you're in the next town over with your old girlfriend, and ain't it a shame? I think we used to be kinda beautiful, kinda great. Go on, I hear you all the same. Well, can I drink enough to shut you up? Pass out on the couch with the lights all on, and in the morning it'll all be gone, gone. Well, I know everything I love and everything I want might as well be sitting right there in that shop. I cannot get back without a second thought. And I drank enough to shut 'em up. Can I drink enough to shut you up? Can I drink enough to shut 'em all up? Pass out on the couch with my makeup on, and in the morning it'll all be gone, gone. Well, I know everything I work for, everything I got might as well be sitting right there in that shop. I cannot get back without a second thought, even though I know everything I love and everything I want might as well be sitting right there in that shop. I cannot get back without a second thought.
So right after that, I was like, I should stop drinking because I'm clearly not very happy. And what's so crazy about that is that there are, a lot of ways to stop drinking. There's a lot of help that you can get if you want to do that. The trick is wanting to. But I found that if I always had my guitar in my hand at night, that I couldn't pick up something else, Knitting is another great thing you can use. I mean, I have a list of things you can do if you need to make sure your hands are not idle. But I just went home, and I worked on this song, and this is the only song I ever wrote that I didn't write the words on paper, I just played it. I played it over and over again until it became a song. And it was after a month. It probably took me a month to finish it, and then when I had stopped drinking. So this song's called Deliver, and it's like an ode to a Manhattan, but but it was also interesting to me that the first part of the word Manhattan is man. And at the time, I couldn't tell which one was causing me more trouble. And so I just decided to write this song for both of them. So this is called Deliver.
That's my favorite.
Alice Wallace endorsement.
Corner bar, the liquor store, they aren't on her way home anymore. Put that bourbon straight down the drain. From now on it's just coffee and Perrier, and she don't know when got that back in. Just know enough to know all of that stuff had to change. And just like that Manhattan, he had in him strong but sweet touch of bitter. Just a taste could awake the need in her. She told him, don't come back like that bad habit, feeding me the same lines. It'll be different this time. But you don't deliver. Took the diamond off, put it in a box. What else? There's his t-shirt, a pair of socks. Now the faucet broke, fix it on her own. Put a clock where that picture frame used to go. When it comes from him, don't answer it. Give in to that craving and lose all control. Just like that Manhattan, he had in him strong but sweet touch of bitter. Just a taste could awake the need in her. She told him, don't come back like that bad habit, feeding me the same lines. It'll be different this time. But you don't deliver. But she ain't gonna hate herself in the morning. It's just like that Manhattan, he had in him strong but sweet touch of bitter. Just a taste could awake the need in her. She told him, don't come back like that bad habit. Say that you're gonna change, you ain't gonna take my mind from me. You promise just to put the edge off, yeah, you're gonna comfort and love me. Come on, it'll be a lot of fun to play house and make babies. Tell me I don't have a problem now that you've come to save me, feeding me the same lines. It'll be different this time. And you don't deliver.
you so much. Thanks for singing with me, Alice.
Oh, of course. That song feels so good to sing along to. When you guys get the record and take it home, you'll be singing along to that song too. You know the liver. Yes.
You'll be thinking about your pizza man.
Oh, well, I'm going to do a few of my songs here, and a lot of you in this room have heard these before, but we're going to do them again. Because, my last album came out in 2019, but, it seems like last year, because last year really didn't count. So I'm still, it's still new. It's still new. And, I moved to Nashville in December of 2019 from California. So now I've been there about a year and a half, but again, it only feels like I've been there a few months. And I'm still learning my way around town. But, and I moved there from California, and this last record of mine had a lot of California influence. And I want to do this song off of that record because California has been through an awful lot in these last few years with the wildfires out there. I still have a lot of family out there. I'm basically trying to convince them to get out of there before the whole state burns down. But I wrote this song.
You have to move above the 45th parallel. Sorry.
Is that it? Is Nashville above the 45th parallel?
No.
Okay. Guess we better move.
That's just what I've heard because I started reading the headlines.
But in Southern California, we have this phenomenon we call the Santa Ana winds. And it's usually those winds that bring the fires. They're these winds that blow in off the desert. They're just hot and dry, and one little spark. That's all it takes. So I wrote this song with my friend Andrew Delaney about those winds.
Out on the horizon, there's a wicked orange glow, while a neighbor sprays her rooftop with a garden hose. You heard they couldn't save the horses, so they had to let them go, while the Santa Ana winds just blow. The newsman, he keeps talking like he thinks that you don't know, and the shelters, they're all stocked up with bread and with hopes, and it's get out on your way with whatever you can hold, while the Santa Ana winds just blow. Hot and thick and black, and it's hanging in your throat. Flames that lick your neighbor haunt each other, house and home, while the Santa Ana winds just blow. We come from dust and ashes, and to such we may return. Light a candle to say blow. Oh, the Santa winds just blow. The Santa wind.
All right. This room does feel really good to sing in. Whew. Love it. So this next song is a song off that record as well, about a boy and a motorcycle. We'll leave it at that for now.
Coffee shop was empty, except a table by the door. A 10-minute conversation. We're not strangers anymore. I knew what I would answer before he even asked. Something about the way he held his shoulders when he laughed. Small talk in the suburbs to flying 80 on a 10. Just me and him and a Moto Guzzi bike between our legs. The interstate gave way to the winding mountain road. I leaned into the curves as if I knew how this should go. But I've always been the girl to hang back and play it safe. So afraid of getting hurt by the risks I never take. But I learned two things that night. Don't hang on too tight and always take that motorcycle ride. Ooh. The mountain air was sweet, and we sipped it in like wine. His cabin smelled of redwood and linseed oil and thyme. I steadied on his arm, still feeling the bike move after holding on so hard to everything I had to prove. We drifted around in circles on the lake all afternoon. Stories of our lives and loves and phases of the moon. I couldn't tell you whether it was waxing or it waned, but it moved so slow and slight that I never see it change. But I've always been a girl to hang back and play it safe. So afraid of getting hurt by the risks I never take. But I learned two things that night. Don't hang on too tight and always take that motorcycle ride. Ooh. Oh, yeah. You know, some people cross your path, and you know they'll always stay, and others fly you up a mountain, and they're gone the way they came. But that day up at the cabin, that night spent in the pines, well, that boy and his bike are ever gentle on my mind. But I've always been the girl to hang back and play it safe. So afraid of getting hurt by the risks I never take. But I learned two things that night. Don't hang on too tight and always take that motorcycle ride. Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. You might have noticed the reference to Gentle on My Mind in that song. I don't know how many of you guys are a fan of Glenn Campbell and that song, and I even stole the riff from it. Because when I had met that boy, I fell pretty hard for him, but he was one of those guys who was just bound and determined to not get attached to anything in life. And after Glenn Campbell passed away, I was listening to that Gentle on My Mind over and over and realizing it had always been my favorite song of his. It's actually a John Hartford song, but Glenn Campbell made it, a big hit. But I had listened to it so many times and had no idea what the song was about. And once I actually listened to the words, I was like, that song is about that boy. And so then when I decided to write my own song about that boy, I had to pull some influence from Gentle on My Mind because it was just too appropriate. So if you listen to my song and Gentle on My Mind back to back, you'll hear the similarities. But it was on purpose. So this next song is the title track off of that record. And it's a great one. It's going to be good in this room, I gotta say. Especially with Caitlin singing along.
Favorite Alice Wallace song. Well, top two, at least.
And I wrote this song a few years back when it was a New Year's Eve, and I didn't have a gig, so I just stayed home, and I was like, I should write a song. And, New Year's Eve is a good time to think about, where you've been and where you're going. And at that point, I think it had been about 5 years since I had quit my job to start touring full time. And I at least was over the hump of, those first couple years of going, what have you done to your life? You're not making any money, and you're never going to be able to move back out of your parents' house. But I was at least, at the point where it was starting to get comfortable, and I was realizing that I would not change a thing. And I was so happy that I had made that, leap off of that cliff into doing music full time. And so often, people come up to us at shows and tell us, how lucky we are to get to do this, to get to live our dream. Of course, you didn't see all the shows where we were playing, 1,000 miles from home, just you and the bartender for 3 hours. You got to get through those nights first. And you might have to move back in with your parents, I'm just saying. It's a thing. So, but at the same time, I really hope everybody finds a way to find it, go after a piece of your dream. Just sail off into the blue after whatever it is that's waiting there out on the horizon for you. This is called The Blue.
Sail away into the blue. It's out there waiting. It could be waiting for you. You're only scared of the things that you can't see. Most beautiful things you only see in your dreams. It's all a mystery, an untold story, a blank page waiting for a line, a metronome just marking time. And there you stand right at the edge of where you'll go and where you've been. The only certainty is you and the blue. And the blue. Sail away till you can't see. Speck of land or the person you used to be. A place where you can't hear what
and all of them, all of you, all at the same time. We're going to do a couple side ponies to close out this first set. Side pony songs. Couple side ponies.
That would be really funny, though, if we brought in some ponies and we just, rode on out of here.
Although you guys don't know Caitlin well, this is probably going to end up happening.
Could happen. Which brings me to this next song, because I said we should add this to the set tonight, because we keep talking. We keep telling people about this thing we did to stay sane in the pandemic. Because we've been interested in, what did you guys all do to stay sane during lockdown? And Alice, where I was in Durango, Colorado, there were less cases. So I was like, why don't you come out, here, get a little space. We ended up, writing songs, but we also ordered, well, more than we wrote songs, we just ordered these mermaid tails that you can swim in, which is so funny because there's no water in Colorado, so we just we put them on and we just hopped around my house.
We did find...
Yeah.
Yes, we did it on camera often, yes.
Yeah. And then we did live streams, and we would do flips for tips, and we would high-five each other in our fins.
And of course, we learned Little Mermaid songs. We had to do that. We had to sing Part of Your World for everybody.
We covered Part of Your World so many times that people were like, what is this band? And so we realized that we needed to write an actual, oh my gosh, we had to write a mermaid song, and you said you have the best byline for the song.
Oh, yeah.
You said it last night. Do you remember?
Yeah, I was like, we couldn't just write a flippant mermaid song. It needed to have some depth.
So good.
All the mermaid puns. There's so many mermaid puns once you get into it. But it was true. Yeah, we're like, okay, we take our songwriting seriously. So when we're like, okay, we're going to write a mermaid song, we hashed this one out for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, we were actually coming back, I think, from a gig in Albuquerque, and Alice was like, I could just see her eyes crossing in her head. I'm like, we can rhyme manatee with Daryl Hannah, see?
And we did.
Yeah, we did. So yeah, side ponies could happen. Let's see.
Yeah, here's our ode to mermaids.
This is our very deep mermaid song. Thanks.
I've got a little secret I've always had to keep it. Don't know how long, but long enough. The centuries keep adding up. If anyone discovered this, they'd sell me to the circuses or lock me up inside a zoo, just like my poor old friend Shamu. So I've been hiding in plain sight, making sure that I stay dry, declining invitations to parties and vacations, barbecue or birthday bash by swimming pools where I'll get splashed. I risk exposing what I am and get deported from the land. Still waters run deep, you can't always see it when somebody's hurting. It takes the bravest face to bear the weight of the heaviest burden. Cut me and I'll bleed, I'm still a person. We're not all that different under the surface. History's not been kind to us. We shipwrecked brave Odysseus. Beware the siren song of old, as if we feed on sailor souls. Columbus thought he saw us too, a man so easily confused, mistaking us for manatees. It's more like Daryl Hennessy. But my legs don't go on for days. When I come over, I can't stay for caviar, expensive wine. Pisces isn't just my sign, but who could ever understand why I sleep on kelp and sand, a good book and a bubble bath, and I become my better half. Still waters run deep, you can't always see it when somebody's hurting. It takes the bravest face to bear the weight of the heaviest burden. Cut me and I'll bleed, I'm still a person. We're not all that different under the surface. Under the surface.
So now we just gotta wait for Disney to make a new mermaid movie that we can pitch that song to.
Yeah, because on the record, Alice does these really cool mermaid yodels at the end. She's like, and we need a yodeling Disney mermaid because there just has not been that, and I just don't know why Disney hasn't done that yet. But if you know anyone over there,
Yeah, put in a good
send
word.
them our way.
Like, there's this song you just need to write a movie around.
Yeah, so that was like what we did to stay sane during the pandemic. And usually we talk about that before all the time in the world because we were kind of poking fun at ourselves of all the crazy things we did. But then we decided we take this little like break in this song to like have a little banter and make some jokes, which we hope you'll think are funny. And our band is like, they just think that we're just talking and not being funny. So they usually, get distracted. Sometimes they chime in because they think we've actually stopped playing and started just talking to each other. So we thought it'd be fun if you guys talked to us too. So I'm gonna go like this, okay? And then you're gonna yell out what it is that you did to stay sane during the pandemic. Do you think that's a good idea, Alice?
Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
So start thinking of your,
Yeah.
all of the fun things you did during that year.
Yeah.
Remember that time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when we couldn't leave the house for a year? Yeah. And yeah, we wrote this song in the midst of that. I started it one night and I was like, I need Caitlin's help on this one. Because I personally, she was a lot busier than I was because she like still had a job for a while. I went from traveling full time to just sitting at home. And I it's like people are like, I'm gonna learn a new language. I'm gonna write a novel. I'm like, I'm gonna watch some Netflix. So, after a few months of that, I'm like, okay, this is getting real sad. And I started writing this song. It's called All the Time in the World.
I stayed up late again last night 'cause I knew I could sleep in. I got up and made my bed just to crawl back in again. My schedule is wide open, my big chance to shoot the moon. I've got all the time in the world, not one thing that I want to do. Well, I've watched everything on Netflix, and even Hulu's picks are slim. Still, I'm not quite bored enough to watch Breaking Bad again. I might be forced to read a book once I've run out of show. I've got all the time in the world and no place to go. All the time I always wished I had. The world is my oyster, but I think mine's gone bad. Be careful what you wish for, 'cause it might just come true. I've got all the time in the world, not one thing that I can do. Well, I swipe
right through every guy on Tinder.
She did.
And then I got up the nerve to ask. He looked nothing like his picture, but it might have been the mask. And he seemed a little distanced when I leaned in for a kiss. I've got all the time in the world and no one to spend it with.
Well, since I never leave the house, I figured I'd sign up for Prime. And now my favorite person is the Amazon delivery guy. I ordered a swimmable tropical sunrise neoprene mermaid tail that I can wear while I watch Vikings on my couch.
And then I ordered a 42,000-piece 3D puzzle of the Great Wall of China that basically just wraps around the outside of my house.
I ordered a crystal ball that you can look in and it shows you the actual future.
Really?
Yeah, see, I totally knew you were going to say that. Because I looked in it earlier.
That would have really come in handy before I ordered my 2020 planner and found out I have no plans.
I ordered
Yeah, you can't say that in here, Caitlin.
Okay.
What do you guys got? You ate too much. We are with you on that.
We did that.
What
did you order?
Oh, yes, you did. You watched all of ours, that's for sure. Oh. Anybody else? Puzzles?
Puzzles.
Is it a barn? Okay.
Barn.
Wow.
Wow.
Are we gonna have a show at the barn next
That was
time?
ambitious.
Okay.
You gardened. You built okay, you didn't build a garden, you planted a garden. I don't know how these gardens come about.
You can build it. I had to build my garden. I built a garden, but then I planted
Alice
too
has
many
a-
cucumbers, and
yeah.
then there's just cucumbers coming out everywhere.
She's got to give me some cucumbers.
I know.
She doesn't know what to do with them.
No,
She has
and
so
they killed
many.
all the other plants. I'm learning these
Okay.
things slowly but surely.
Do the watermelons win that war or whatever? Oh, really? That sounds delicious.
Huh.
Yeah.
Thought.
Anybody else order anything really weird? Liquor. And she hopes it comes today. 'Cause we've got all the time in the world and more bills than we can pay. Summer it was canceled and fall and winter too. For all we know, we'll be stuck inside till 2022. But if there's a silver lining to all of the beaches being closed, it's that I can keep eating all of my feelings and nobody will know. I got all the time I always wished I had. The world is my oyster, but I think mine's gone bad. Be careful what you wish for, 'cause it might just come true. I've got all the time in the world, not one thing that I can do. I've got all the time in the world, not one thing that I can do.
See, Caitlin keeps my life exciting.
Oh. I I don't know if it weren't for you if I would have the courage to do the wave. It's like, but sometimes I suggest we do things and Alice is like, no. But most of the time she's like, okay. Usually she goes, we could. And then I'm usually like halfway started doing it already. So.
Which actually, this is a perfect segue into our first song.
This song's called Bad Ideas.
This is one of our Side Pony co-writes. And it's going to be the first track on our new record. Which, yes, unfortunately, we don't have our new record yet, but it's coming out in October, and we are so excited about it. We just got the masters back yesterday, and we were listening to them in the car on the way driving down here today. And, I think it's going to be a hit. I don't know. We will let you know when the new album's coming out.
It takes me more than twice to learn a lesson. A headache never taught me not to throw back that last shot. I lose all my chips and keep on betting. Looking for some pain like it's a flame and I'm the moth. All of my bad ideas keep getting better. All of my predilections, you are the best and the worst combined. How much of my soul have I sold to the devil? So I can wake up in this bed just to contend with the regret of what I did last night. The trial commences first thing in the morning. Jury in my head would surely burn me at the stake, and I didn't think you'd be so habit-forming. Now I'm hanging on by the hair of the dog, just begging for a taste. All of my bad ideas keep getting better. All of my predilections, you are the best and the worst combined. How much of my soul have I sold to the devil? So I can wake up in this bed just to contend with the regret of what I did last night. I've got a devil on each shoulder and both of them agree. If I'm going down to the flames of hell, well, I'm taking you with me. I don't care what it costs me, tell the waitress bring the check. I want you to show me just how good bad can get. All of my bad ideas keep getting better. All of my predilections, you are the best and the worst combined. How much of my soul have I sold to the devil? So I can wake up in this bed just to contend with the regret of what I did last night.
miss something?
It's just funny because, I always tell people that, like, I make Alice, well, I don't know what I make you, but she definitely makes me more marketable. And I feel like that song could have been a lot worse without you.
Like, do we really want to say that? Well, this next song comes from, this is one of our favorite I think all of them are our favorite co-writes, is the problem. That's why we had to put an album out. We're like, we love them all so much.
Otherwise, we were just going to fight over who got to put them on whose next record.
I know. It would have been,
We had to share.
would have been a battle. Yeah. And this song was inspired by, I mentioned I have this vinyl back there where I got to record a couple songs with Doug Lancio, who is now our producer for Side Pony, but I met him recording last year, and I recorded Linda Ronstadt's Long, Long Time, and it's become one of my favorite songs to sing, and Caitlin was there that day, and when I recorded it, and we just decided we needed a song like that, because it's just such a perfect song, perfect heartbreaking song.
Yeah, so we dug deep inside ourselves to find our deepest heartbreak. And then we wrapped it up in a logic knot, and we call it All I Have Is Want. If that makes you think.
I gave you my attention, even though they say, let him feel your absence, don't answer right away. Gave up the upper hand, oh, I'm tired of the games, of being on the run, just so you'd have something to chase. That was my mistake. I thought if you get back what you give, then I'll give it all I got. I gave you all I had, and now all I have is want. Gave in to the craving I always denied, so convinced that I could trust my heart and not my mind. I guess love is blind. If you get back what you give, then I'll give it all I got. I gave you all I had, and now all I have is one.
man, this room feels good to sing in.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, so if you didn't grab the 7-inch vinyl, you should reconsider. Even if you don't have a turntable, you should get that record and then get a turntable because it's so great. Alice doing Long, Long Time. We maybe should have you do it, actually. It's so good. Yeah.
Maybe so.
But I don't want to follow you, so do it later. Okay. You guys might notice that I'm standing up and sitting down a lot. That's because I just had a back surgery. 2021. You know, those memes were going around that were like, we all owe 2019 a huge apology in 2020, and I feel that way about 2020 this year. Like, because I'm in 2021, I owe 2020 a huge apology just because I've had, like, all the major things that you go through in a lifetime occurred in mine in, like, you know, what, a 6-week period? Yeah. So back surgery is just one of those things, but I was moving, you know, COVID closed my business, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna go to Nashville, I'm gonna drive off into the blue, you know, and do it. I was driving down, and I have been in so much pain. And I don't know how many of you have experienced nerve pain or chronic pain. I mean, I'm sure, you know, life is about pain, so you've all had pain, so you can relate, but nerve pain is like a very special kind of hell. And I had gone to my doctor who had me on just this crazy cocktail of drugs, and I said, I want to try some alternative medications because I don't feel like sober on these. And they said, those options are too expensive. I think that we should just increase your dosage. And I had like this crazy awakening because I was driving through, I was somewhere between Amarillo and Little Rock, and I know this because I was on the phone with my friend Tommy Jackson when I got pulled over, and I got a ticket. And he said to call him back after I got a ticket. And he said, did you get a ticket? And I said, yeah, I got a ticket because I'm going places. And he said, no, Caitlin, you got a ticket because you need to slow down, which I've heard many times in life. But for some reason, I just heard him, and I just realized, like, I have to make the changes. I can't listen to the doctors. I can't listen, you know, I mean, you want to get counsel, but you really have to decide what's right for you and develop your own internal guidance system. And so I started making changes right away. To try to get in control of my own pain in my own life. And, you know, I was passing these signs that were saying, I saw one actually in Kirksville, thank you, like recovery is possible. And it was an ad for recovery for heroin, fentanyl, and pill use. And I just thought, that's specific, you know? And I know that we just have a huge, you know, we have a huge problem because we are in pain, you know, and there's like certain companies that are like profiting off of that, and I just feel like it's a way that we sort of like keep ourselves in pain. And so this again, kind of just like Deliver, was a song that I wrote to sort of write myself out of that pain. And this song is called Somewhere Between Amarillo and Little Rock. And I've since had the back surgery, and I can stand up again, which is really great, and play my guitar for you guys. I just can't stand the whole time. Yeah. So, there it is. Man, I gotta work on shortening down that intro. Alice is like,
I've been getting acquainted with the kind of pain that'll bend your mind and cause it to frail. Bend your knees and force you to pray. Who says people don't change? My doctor tells me I got a brain that don't make dopamine, won't think straight. The round one takes the edge away. The red one keeps the blues at bay. Somewhere between Amarillo and Little Rock. He said, you wanna tell me why you failed to abide by the traffic stop? And I didn't really know so far from home, he asked, but I wasn't there long enough to call it that. The South got lower property tax, I find myself circling back. Do they pad prescription opioid dosage so he can meet his ticket quotas? When he asked me if I'm sober, I said, I really don't know, sir. I'm just somewhere between Amarillo and Little Rock. They got hay for sale by the roller bale and they grow cash crops. Is there anywhere in middle America people aren't working their asses off? Always running behind, they never can catch up. We're breaking down between Amarillo and Little Rock. And I'd sooner burn through my reserves and let the wheels fall off before it occurred to me that I could stop. Somewhere between Amarillo and Little Rock. Well, it's a good a place as any to just get out and take a walk. Ain't it funny when clarity's hidden in a contradiction or a paradox? You can't begin to get your bearings until you're good and lost and breaking down between Amarillo and Little Rock.
Thanks. Okay, I got one more sad story. I'll try to keep it short. Oh, this is a long one. All right. So, my brother's been in prison since he was 17. He is 48. He's been in prison for 31 years. There was no juvenile option. You know, they wait to try you as an adult, put you into prison. And the Supreme Court recently ruled juvenile life without parole unconstitutional. So he just came up for parole for the first time in 31 years. Last Tuesday, parole denied and reset for 2026. He'll be 53. My brother and I are very close. He's a holy man. He is the most amazing person I've ever met. He's the most amazing example I have for transformation in my life. You know, he's like worried about us over himself after the decision came through like that, and we're recalibrating now. But he gave me a song prompt, and he said, I want you to write a song for me called Waiting, but don't make it about me getting out of prison, make it about Laura, because he has been in love with the same girl since he was 15. So he's been in love with her for 33 years. Anyway, she got married, and he doesn't really have a chance. I wrote this song for them. Really, I wrote it thinking that maybe she'd hear it and it would win her over for him. Yeah, I guess whatever my educational plug is for this is that Alabama Governor Kay Ivey is building 2 new supermax prisons. And so they're basically only paroling 10% of people, and they're just doing the drug misdemeanors. They're not really looking at the cases to see if people are capable of reform. They're just filling up those supermax prisons. So if there's one area that I really feel like we need reform, it's pharmaceuticals and prisons. So get a Trash Cannon album, everybody, because it's all about the trashiest parts of my life and yours. Yeah, anyway, here's Waiting.
We were only 15 on the school debate team. I got a face full of braces. You had holes in your jeans, safety pin earrings. Got tired of one side of your hair, you just shave it. And I'd never seen a more beautiful thing. Said when you're sick of that asshole you're dating, I will be waiting until things are less complicated. Just waiting. What else would you do for an angel? Now a couple of years, cocaine and cheap beer. I thought you might notice me running with that crowd, but you weren't around on the night I went out. Got into that trouble they don't let you out of. Decided to fight for the rest of my life to get out of that hole made of pavement. Just waiting until things are less complicated. Just waiting. What else would you do for an angel? So we wrote letters, we talked on the phone, and there were times I didn't feel so alone. I'd see you the weekends, you'd get it approved, but the letters stopped coming, the visits did too. They gave me my pills, a $10 bill. My teeth are half rotten, my hair, it's all gray. I didn't know anywhere to call home, so I bought these cheap flowers to put on your grave. I'm gonna spend my days making amends, so they'll let me come see you in heaven. Till then I'll be waiting until things are less complicated. Just waiting. What else would you do for an angel?
Thank you.
Well, maybe I should do that Linda Ronstadt song.
Yeah,
What do you
we
think?
should do that.
Why don't we do that? Oh, yeah, that song kills me. It like killed me especially hard tonight. I was over here like, whew, hold it together, Alice. It's just,
I'm supposed to do another song. I'm like, Alice, you gotta play now. I can't do it.
yeah. We'll give you a little break, and then we'll come back. My guitar got turned down by accident. Whoop. Let me do this one. This is one of my favorite songs to sing. And actually now, I was singing this song in a little bar in Nashville. I might have told you guys this last time I was here. Oh, there's a pic there. That's why that's a problem. What's going on? I was singing this song at like 11 p.m. at Dee's Country Cocktail Lounge on a Tuesday night. If you know Nashville, Dee's is a great bar, one of my favorites. And I was singing this Linda Ronstadt song, and the whole bar went totally silent. And after my set, the sound engineer came up and he's like, I need to introduce you to someone. He takes me over to the bar and he says, this is Britt Ronstadt, Linda's cousin. And she's like spitting image of Linda. And now she and Caitlin and I are working on a trio tribute together because she also sings just like Linda. And so it's gonna be.
And all the hair colors are represented.
I know.
So, which made sense.
She'll be Dolly, I'll be Emmy Lou. Obviously, Britt will be Linda. And, you know, maybe next time we come back we'll be a trio.
We'll be a trio. We could.
Good. Just keep adding them.
Love with the Bible, take things in stride. Sounds like good advice, but there's no one at my side. Outside, washes clean, love's wounds unseen. That's what someone told me, but I don't know what it means. 'Cause I've done everything I know to try and make you mine, and I think I'm gonna love you for a long, long time. Caught in my fears, blinking back the tears. I can't say you hurt me when you never left me near, and I never drew one response from you. All the while you fell all over girls you never knew. 'Cause I've done everything I know to try and make you mine, and I think it's gonna hurt me for a long, long time. Wait for the day you'll go away, knowing that you warned me of the price I have to pay. Life's full of flaws. Who knows the cause? Living in a memory of a love that never was. 'Cause I've done everything I know to try and change your mind, and I think I'm gonna miss you for a long, long time. Yes, I've done everything I know to try and make you mine. Oh, and I think I'm gonna love you for a long, long time.
I love it when she does that.
Could have tuned a little bit. You want to take back over?
Keep going.
Well, we're going to
throw that one in later if we want to. It's just, it's got one of those words in it. It's in the Bible.
Well, I know. So Howard requested that I do the answer to the motorcycle ride song.
Yeah, oh, I love that song.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
let's do that one.
maybe I'll do that one.
Yeah.
We'll see how we're feeling.
Great, Howard. I love that song.
So the boy on the motorcycle. It didn't end after that song. I continued to allow him to string me along for a little while longer. But then, when I moved to Nashville, it was finally like, okay, it's officially over. So I had to write like a "It's Over" song. So I made sure I remembered. And yeah, I think he's the only guy in my life who's ever inspired 2 songs.
See, if you kill them in their song, then they're dead and you can't.
It's true.
You gotta move on.
I should have killed him in the first one. Dang. See, I'm learning things from Caitlin every day. How's this go? And the first line is...
It's not the coffee shop.
It's almost there. Hold on. I know, it's like almost there. This is the hazard of requests sometimes. You're like, when's the last time I
learned
sang
20 songs in your head at a time. It's like they shuffle in and out.
Definitely starts with you. I know that. Okay. Wow, this was anticlimactic, wasn't it? And now it's like,
Nobody look at Alice.
now that's later. I know.
Is it about the apple tree?
No, that's the second verse with the apple tree. I know.
Yeah. I know. It's just yodel the first verse, Alice.
Oh, yeah. I know. I don't know if it's going to come. And I don't even know if I... No, it's not on one of the albums. That's the
Brand
thing.
new.
It's like an unreleased track that it's only in my head.
Why don't you say more, see?
And it's stuck.
Yeah.
It is on Facebook somewhere.
Yeah.
But I
And
just
it's on
don't
Patreon.
know. Oh, that's true. You want to go look up the Patreon? I know. Scroll back through all of these things. Now, I know. Okay. Gosh, I hate that. I hate that. All right, let's do a song I remember. And then we'll come back and we'll see if maybe this will shake it loose. I wrote this song on a day when I felt like I had nothing original to say. So I thought, why don't I just find a new way to sing the same old song? I need a moment, a reason, a ride. Feels like I've lost a little piece of my mind. I have, and I've been searching my whole life long, trying to find a new way to sing the same old song. We all need a moment when everything's clear. There's other times you wonder why we're
same old song. Now don't you try, don't you try to say this life can't be something more than these sleepless nights. Oh, not knowing quite what you're looking for. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Don't you try, don't you try to say this life can't be something more than these sleepless nights, not knowing quite what you're looking for. Give me that moment, it'll be worth your while. May make myself crazy, maybe that's my style. Oh, but I'm not content with just humming along. No, I'll find a new way to sing the same old song. I'll find a new way to sing the same
Here's the crazy thing. As soon as I saw you walking in, I like remembered the first line. Yeah. I was like, there it is. You look at me the way I've always wanted to be seen. There we go.
Did you need a second
No,
one?
I got it. Okay, yeah. I know. It's like, that's it. Can we go line by line through the entire song, guys? Okay. All right. We're going to do it because we did this whole intro. Second motorcycle ride.
You look at me the way I've always wanted to be seen. You listen when I cry, and you don't say anything. And even when you're close, you're still just out of reach. At least from me. You put me on your shoulders to pick the apple trees. We floated in the dark beneath a ring of evergreens. At sunset we would race up to where the trees would clear. And the day would disappear. And I wasn't supposed to love you, I wasn't supposed to fall for everything you'll never be and everything you are. But I love the way you break my heart. You never wanted more and you don't apologize. But you never led me on, and I know you never lied, but I colors of the sky, the smell of the pine trees in the early morning light, and that pit inside my stomach that never went away until today. And I wasn't supposed to love you, I wasn't supposed to fall for everything you'll never be and everything you are, but I love the way you break my heart. And maybe that's why it was so easy, 'cause if I never had you, then you could never leave me. And I wasn't supposed to love you, I wasn't supposed to fall for everything you'll never be and everything you are, but I love the way you break my
What do you want to do? Keep going? Okay. Well, maybe do Pork Repatches and Heels?
Sure. Let's do that.
I'm like adding all these extra songs.
What do you guys want to do?
I don't know. I know. You guys got enough energy left for a few more songs? Is that okay? Okay. Here we go. We should do this one because it's on my, not my most recent album, but the one right before that, which is now like all I have left over there. So I think I do have one copy of Into the Blue left. But this is a song on my last album, and about a little town called Jerome, Arizona. I know a few of you guys have heard this song. And if you haven't been to Jerome, who's been to Jerome in this room? That's a pretty good percentage here. So Jerome is an old copper mining town in northern Arizona over by Sedona. But it became a ghost town, mostly because the copper mines kept catching fire. And one time they burned for 20 years. So they abandoned the town, it became a ghost town. And I thought, there's a song in there somewhere. This town needs a song. So I learned more about it. Not only was it famous for its copper mines, it was famous for its brothel in town. Fairly very well-known brothel. The madam came all the way from New Orleans, and she was apparently very strict with her girls. And if any of the men mistreated them, they were run out of town. But still, I was imagining what it might have been like to be a woman in an old West mining town. And so I thought, okay, there's something in there. And then I found out Jerome is on Cleopatra Hill. So I knew if I was going to write a song about this old West mining town, it was really going to have to be about a woman. So her name is Cleopatra, and she has a fire that they can't put out.
Oh, Cleopatra, she sits and waits for the man who will come over, calling again. And each time they call, well, her hatred it grows and burns like a fire that only she knows. Well, they can't put it out. They can't put it out. It wasn't long.
That's the wrong verse. Hold on.
Once she was young and so pretty a girl, too pretty, they told her, irresistible. Though she was young, what she had was so rare that the risk of getting burned wouldn't stop those those who dared, and now they can't put it out. Can't put it out. No, they can't put it out. They can't put it out. Oh, Cleopatra. 20 years is far too long to burn. Oh, Cleopatra. Well, maybe someday men will finally learn. So many years the men have all gone. Well, they found they were no match when the flames grew too strong. Poor Cleopatra still sits there and bleeds, her heart charred black by the fires of greed, and now they can't put it out. No, can't put it out. Well, they can't put it out. They can't put it out. Oh, 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 oh.
I think my brain has just stopped working. I started the wrong verse, and then I went back, and then I just skipped that verse. I know. I was like, I'm like, wait, what am I doing? It was too late. It's too late. There's a good secret verse in there if you get the recording that we didn't play for you tonight, just to leave something to be had.
It's a really good verse about the fire in her bed. Just so you know. So we're gonna do heels, yeah? Okay. Well, sure. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. So, okay. Well, we'll do this, and then we'll close it out with Side Pony, and then we'll do a yodel. So here.
Okay.
Here we go.
Now it's 3 more songs. We're doing this.
Yeah. So while we're speaking of fires in her bed, I was a bartender in New York City for so long, and I had this boyfriend who said they gave me a residency there at a bar called Teddy. One night a week, I got to get up on stage and play my guitar and sing songs. And the other nights, I had to be behind the bar watching the other people play. And he was like, "It's really cool that you get to get up there and play that night, but the other nights," he's like, "you're basically just a prostitute." 'Cause, you got to wear a little uniform. It's really skimpy. He's like, really, like being a waitress or a bartender in New York's like being a step above a prostitute. I actually kind of got to feeling like a prostitute after he said that. So I talk about that in this song. And, when I came in, see, Howard's heard my record, and he said, "Just don't say this one, don't do this one or this one." And I was like, "What about this one?" He said, "That one's in the Bible. You can do that one."
Can't say I had a right night's sleep in 7 years. Stuck behind a bar 6 deep, slinging drinks and beer. And the price of living's higher than the steps that I'm a climbing just to get the kind of break you gotta get to get paid. Love of my life, another Bud Light says keep the change, then expect to get laid. I always thought I'd be someone by now, making all my friends jealous, my parents proud, but there's too many pageants and not enough crowds. Oh my God, I need a better job. Said, remember, baby girl, I know I taught you just how to play hard to get. And I know you want to think everybody's real nice, and that's not the truth of it. Whatever you do at tomorrow's interview, don't you let them know you're broke. You were hustling until 2, and I always thought I'd be someone by now, making all my friends jealous, my parents proud. But there's too many pageants and not enough crowns. Oh my God, I need a better job. From waitress to barista, now the girl behind the bar. I'm taking home more tips from men the shorter my shorts are. Suppose that's prostitution, depends on what defines a whore. Oh my God, I need a better job. I just need a better job, y'all.
She just needs a better job.
That was kind of a good sequence. You know, you talk about Cleopatra, now she's all the prostitutes in the mining town, then I go about like, well, here's modern day prostitution, bartending.
Yeah, we're figuring out these set orders.
Which brings us to this song, which is about a piece of footwear that many working girls use.
Yes,
Yeah,
and ruin their feet in the process.
yeah. You know, unless they're not standing on them, sorry. Sorry. Forgive me.
Oh,
Yeah. So, how'd this song come about, Alice?
this song came about when I was dating a guy who was shorter than I was, which is okay, but he also kind of
He was mean.
was a jerk about it, actually.
Yeah.
And so I started to get self-conscious, and you know, like, I didn't want to wear heels around him because I was afraid it was just going to make him feel bad.
Yeah,
And,
she wasn't going to wear heels to her own CD release, and I was like, you cannot wear flats up there.
Yeah. So Caitlin was like, do not take your heels off for him.
Yeah.
And we're
But
like,
don't put them on for him either.
I know, we don't actually ever want to wear heels, but we want the option of wearing heels.
Basically,
Don't tell us what to do.
yeah.
So this song was born. It's called Heels.
When I was young, I learned some things from televisions and movie screens.
A woman had to play it small to make her man feel big and tall.
And though we know today all that is really just absurd,
These kinds of lessons aren't easy to unlearn.
like if you wanna please a man, put on your shorter skirt, have dinner on the table after you get home from work.
To hang on to a man, they say you shouldn't be too smart, and you shouldn't be so tall that you don't fit under his arm.
But I won't take my heels off for you, the way I've been expected to do. A busy woman ain't got time to change her shoes, and I won't take my heels off for you.
If you want to keep a man, you gotta listen to him talk. And while he's pontificating, just make sure to smile and nod. Let him educate you on all the finer points of drywall installation and things you both enjoy.
And if you wanna keep a man, don't you correct him when he's wrong. He doesn't take directions, what he takes is twice as long. To hang on to a man, sometimes you have to let him win until he's stripped you down to nothing and he wants to go all in. But I won't take my heels off for you, the way I've been expected to do. A busy woman off for you. I won't take my heels off for you. Way I've been expected to do. Busy woman ain't got time to change her shoes, and I won't take my heels off for you. Way I've been expected to do. Busy woman ain't got time to change her shoes, and I won't take my heels off for you. I won't take my heels off for you. I won't take my heels off for you.
I mean, I think that's going to be our hit, really. What do you guys think?
That's our hit.
Oh, we had fun writing that one. All
So
right.
many good jokes in that song, don't you think?
Oh, I know. And they caught them all. They were
I
like
know.
on
The
top of it.
comedy.
It's great. Doesn't take direction when it takes it's twice as long. Yeah.
The experience. You know.
Like when we were in the
Tells
studio
us.
with Doug.
Our producer, he went over and over and over, and finally, after listening to that probably 200 times, he just started laughing. He was like, oh, God. Because if he just listened to us the first time, you know, we would have been home in bed already, all of us, you know, but we were just patient, aren't we, Alice?
We are, well, we are down to our last song.
Which
you guys,
means Alice gonna yodel.
that's what's gonna happen.
I love it when she yodels.
But Caitlin's joining in on the yodeling now too. She's working on her yodeling because, you know,
Yodel harmonies.
it's all about the harmonies in this band. So, but we got to end with the yodel. And this,
Trailblazing.
I know. This one is on the 7-inch vinyl back there, and it's a song written by the great Don Walser. And I may have done this last time, but we're doing it again because it's one of my favorite yodels to do. And Don Walser was a famous Texas yodeler, in case you're not totally well versed in the art of yodeling. And they called him the Pavarotti of the Plains. And so I had to learn this song when I started touring in Texas, because if you're in Texas, you gotta learn some Don Walser. It's called The Rolling Stone from Texas.
I'm a rolling stone from Texas, a rolling stone from the plains. I'm a rolling stone from Texas, boys. I long to be back there again. Say, are you from Texas? Well, that's what I'm wanting to know. 'Cause if we're both from Texas, boys, let's bundle up our clothes and go. Yodeloo, diddly-o-dee-o, yodelee. Yodeloo, diddly-o-dee-o, yodelee. Yodeloo, dee-eh-yodelee, dee-o, diddly-o-delee, yodelee, yodelee, dee. Oh, yeah-yeah-yeah-yeah-yeah-yeah-yo. Dee, yodeloo, dee, yodeloo, dee, yodeloo, dee.
Also, the great thing about touring with Caitlin is I have like my own built-in yodeling cheerleader over here. It's so fun when she yodels.
Say a rolling stone never gathers no moss as long as it's rolling along. But I don't care if I gather any moss if it's in my Texas home. And I've got a little girl waiting, and her name is Patricia Jane. And I'll never be happy till I'm by her side out on those West Texas plains. Yodeloo,